Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Going to the community page, looking at the thumbed up questions. One of the ones that got a bunch of votes. Will Hakeem Jeffries have another shot at being the House Speaker prior to the end of the year? So we'll look at Hakeem Jeffries through the remainder of this House session. You might remember that when Kevin McCarthy was trying to, one of his 15 times or so to get in, Hakeem Jeffries was the leading vote getter for the first 14. But it wasn't a majority, so he didn't get in. And then went through a debacle of 3 more Republican House Speakers votes before Mike Johnson got put in there. Marjorie Taylor Greene was making a bunch of noise about taking Johnson out if he passed the budget or passed funding for Ukraine, both of which happened. And Donald Trump told Marjorie to knock it off, and she obeyed. So, but you can imagine she's still kind of smarting over that. So Mike Johnson isn't exactly setting the world on fire. He's kind of very vanilla. We've got a budget coming up too. We're at the end of August, and the budgets and stuff need to be done by the end of September and approved in October. So here we go again. All right, but let's take a look at the energy around Hakeem Jeffries, and then ask if he will, what the probability is looking like of him being the House Speaker before the end of the year. Entertainment purposes only. Let's see what we've got going on with Mr. Jeffries. Foundation of the reading is the Seven of Cups. This is a man of integrity, but he also looks at the job with integrity, and takes the good with the bad. It's understanding what you're getting yourself into. Crossed with the Page of Cups. Right now, this house is an absolute mess. The inmates are running the asylum, which, asking, would you want to be in charge of the asylum when the inmates run it and you don't? Underneath all is the Knight of Cups. That being said, if the offer came his way, he may take it just because it might be the best thing for the United States, trying to keep the Mickey Mouse crowd in check. In the past, you had the Ten of Cups. Hakeem Jeffries became the minority speaker after Nancy Pelosi relinquished control of it. He's been the minority speaker since, and generally celebrated, and his approval as a leader has done well for the Democrats. This is also the Republicans getting their wishes coming true, that they're now in majority of the House. But again, the Putin faction, the crazy people, have taken over the House. Current situation is the Seven of Coins. Right now, Hakeem Jeffries is perfectly fine letting the Republicans reap what they sow. The crazy people are in charge. Let America see the crazy people and what they haven't gotten done over the years. They ran on Biden's inflation and then promptly did not pass any legislation to fight inflation. Instead, they focus on stupid stuff like trying to impeach Mayorkas or something like that. Overarching energy is the Nine of Wands. I think Jeffries, again, he's got his hands full. He's looking down the line. We have elections and re-elections. He should be re-elected. I don't think he's worried about that. It's just that, we're 4 months away, 5 months away from a new government coming in. And hopefully the Democrats win enough seats to take over the House that way. Lesson to be learned is the Queen of Cups. Nancy Pelosi probably has worked with him on this one. Keeping your emotions in check. Right now he's in control. He keeps his cool. He had some zingers for Donald Trump at the DNC, saying something like, it's like the boyfriend you broke up with, and he's been circling the block for the last 4 years trying to get yourself back together. And dude, we're over you, type of thing. Outcome is the Knight of Wands. He's going to just keep doing what he's doing. Plotting, moving forward, getting ready for the day that he will be the House Majority Speaker. Get these cards in here, because that's going to be the next question, is will he be the next House Speaker? It would be a thankless job to do it now, you know? The only way I can imagine him wanting to, will he be willing to take it? Excuse me. Would be, if he could get some large faction of conservatives to, vote on issues like the budget. Let's say Mike Johnson, for whatever reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene boots him out. And the Republicans try and get a new leader in there. They can't do it. And the budgets are coming due. Mike Johnson, Hakeem Jeffries might say, you know what, if I can get a block of 40 of you to vote along, I'll be the majority speaker, and we're going to work on basically anything bipartisan groups can approve, which would be like the budget. Just keep the order of the house, the business of the House moving on, and wait for the results of the election type of thing. That would not be an unreasonable double negative. And that would not be an unreasonable position. That would be a fairly reasonable position, which is probably why it'll never happen. Okay. Will Hakeem Jeffries be the Speaker of the House prior to the installation of the next House? Got about 4 months here. Will he be the Speaker of the House in the next 4 months? King of Pentacles. Okay. Budgets. Again, I was thinking, okay, Donald Trump? No. American oligarchs? No. Big money like budgets? Yes. Okay, so let's take a look. There's maybe something happens with the budgets. Yeah, working on the budgets being delayed. Showing maybe leadership during budget time here. Page of Pentacles. There's probably going to be Mike Johnson will probably have more delays in the budget. I'll be curious. And it's an election year, for God's sake. This is not when you can afford to have budget delays. It's literally the last thing that the House of Representatives is doing before the election. If Mike Johnson has any smarts about him, they will get this budget through and not give the Democrats any opportunity to claim another victory and give the GOP another black eye. In the past, and this again asking, will Hakeem Jeffries take it over? In the past, we got the Eight of Swords. I think, again, this is the budgets being held hostage by extremists in the Republican Party that would not vote to support it. They couldn't even get the stuff out of committee. They couldn't even get it to the committees to vote for it as an omnibus. It just, everything was being shut down. Current situation is the Three of Cups. There's a lot of Republicans that want to get this budget through, and they don't want to deal with the extremists. Again, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Matt Gaetzes and those folks in really red districts or heavily gerrymandered districts, they can be as extreme as they want. For everybody else, you got to get the work done, or else the voters are going to punish you for it. Which should be an easy thing to do, is going to be chaotic. Got the Five of Wands over it again. The Hillbilly Brawl card. There's going to be more fighting. There's going to be more arguing. For my Australian fans, it's the argy-bargy. Learned that from Dr. Lena. And I believe Libby was reusing that term today or yesterday, because it got back into my consciousness. Like, oh, right, the argy-bargy card here. The lesson to be learned: the star is going to rise after the storm is done. So this could be one of those instances where the budgets are fighting. Maybe they get the budgets through, and then the the inevitable removal of Mike Johnson as driven by Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to pass. And that was going to be the opportunity that would give Hakeem Jeffries the thing that would happen, the event that would happen, that would give Hakeem Jeffries the opportunity to be House Speaker. Outcome being the Six of Swords. It probably won't happen, but if the fighting gets too bad and we want a calm and we want to move away from the chaos, that's what's going to give Hakeem Jeffries an opportunity to be the House Speaker before the end of the year. It's going to just keep an eye out on what happens during the budget. If the Republicans can get it together and get some budgets passed, no, he won't be the House Speaker. If the Republicans fight, kick, scream, scratch, whatever, gouge, then the more they do it and the harder it is to get that budget passed, the more damning it's going to be during election time and for the Republicans running for re-election. And it can be very damaging for them. And what could happen is after the election, after it's all said and done, maybe that's when Mike Johnson is removed. And literally at that point, Hakeem Jeffries is like the babysitter or the substitute teacher coming in and just minding the shop for a couple of months until the new house is in. And if the Democrats win that new house, he was going to be the leader of the house, the Speaker of the House, anyways. So this, it wouldn't be the biggest shocker. It's not like anything gets done in the House of Representatives, anyways. It would just be a black eye to the MAGA cultists for that. So I'll read on it more at the end of September, beginning, as the budgets and the stories with the budgets come through there, we can revisit this and see how the energy is changing or evolving as we get there. I think Hakeem Jeffries will be an amazing speaker, but it's not going to be an amazing speaker until he has a democratically controlled House. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching this video. Again, this video is for entertainment purposes only, so your mileage may vary. I hope this reading does provide some insight into the situation. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.